And I'm on Black Eyes TV 7.
Keep your head up, keep your head up. All the shit we been through, I know you fed up. This constant type of pressures, you ain't led up. This country should be happy we ain't teared up. Nobody love us, let us not pretend, no. Let us gain our independence and let us not depend. They'll never stop us now, they couldn't stop us then. This country lucky that we only want equality and not revenge. We need to invest in each other, how much you got to spend? I needed your help, my brother, how much you got to lend? You got a black business, I support you. I'ma buy black, the block I want us to buy back. I'm trying to buy that, I'm trying not to get shot at and battle line with a cop at. I need to see an all black Amazon I can shop at. Stop that, cause a black man is king, black man is God. Any black celebrity quiet, that man a fraud. Cause they wanna leave us with no blessings. I see blacks get beat peacefully protesting, leaving the street bleeding with no weapons. Don't get cold and treated with no testing. I'm squeezing with no questions. All the shit we been through, I know you fed up.
Greetings, family. This is Terry Riggs, Mr. Riggs. As you can see, my beautiful face smiling in the background. And you know, today we have a special guest, and today is talking with the creatives, as we're trying to give as many creatives the exposure and giving them the platform for them to show what they do and what they are and how they play their game within the community. We're going to have a long today's discussion. But before I do so, I'm going to introduce the beautiful lady and make her introduce herself to the general public in who she is and what she does.
Greetings,
Hi.
family. Greetings, King. How are you? Thank you for having me on, first and foremost.
Okay.
I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Greetings, family, wherever you are in the world. I am Aisha Peters, aka Divine Being, aka Queen, aka Empress. So many different titles and hats. I am the CEO of my own production company that goes by the name of Vewa Productions Ltd. You can also find Vewa Productions online in your search engine at www.Vewa Productions, that's VEWA Productions with an S at the end, ltd.com/. I am also a guided meditation facilitator. I do vocal coaching as well under my production company. I'm a creative director. I am a singer-songwriter, performer, entrepreneur, connecting people with different people. Yeah, so many hats.
Okay, so, you know, we first got to start from, you know, as I always say, from the beginning of creation and understand in forms of your creativity, because you know when we try to express ourselves, I want the young children to kind of get how you begun in your steps and in your form of journey. So I just want you to give a little download on your journey, full stop, in the fact of your beginnings.
Okay, so I know this is going to sound corny, but really and truly, my journey does truly begin with the womb in terms of my mother. So my talent, in terms of me being a singer-songwriter performer, that definitely does come from the natural DNA that I carry from my mother and father, Rising Power Forever, Elwin Samuel Peters, my father, and also gratitude and praise to my mother, Antoinette Hutchinson, as well, because my mum, she's not really a performer, but she has a beautiful voice, which she seldom shares with anyone. But those of us who are obviously close to her, we know she has a beautiful singing voice. So when a lot of people are hearing me sing anyway, the tone and the frequency of my voice is actually of my mother's. my technical ability actually comes from my father, because my father also sings, and he used to write, and he cut his own records as well. And you know, a story that was told to me from when I was little. I have a godfather by the name of Dub Judah, who is a huge dub artist out there. And he always said to me that, you know, I knew before you were born that you were going to be a singer, you were going to be a performer. And the reason why he said that to me, he was just like, I knew, because when you were in your mother's womb, when you were growing, I would always sing to your mother's stomach. And every time I sung, you responded. So I've always had this natural affiliation with music and singing and performance, you know, in its various facets. And so that's how it all begins, really. Or
so
began,
you come from a music background. When
Absolutely.
do you? So in saying that, where do you feel that you felt close to being in the music world, or what drew you within the music world itself? Because a lot of people say, oh yeah, I just want to be an artist, or I want to do this. But what was the first protocol, what I would have said, that you saw in your insight of your creativity that drew you to that pathway?
There are many layers to that. So I can't speak about one point and then not speak about the others, because they're all connected. And so to me, I guess that, you know, when you feel that passion and you feel that this is what I want to do, that started from when I was like 3, 4. And the reason why I say that is because in my household, it was the done and daily thing to hear my mum sing. My dad used to be on Climax FM radio station, and he had his own sound, and he had huge parties, like house parties. So I was always in that circle of music, and had the passion to want to sing what I was hearing, but also to perform it in the way that I felt was correct to me. And the thing is as well, in terms of the depth of the journey, I watched a lot of musicals when I was younger. So people like Josephine Baker, people like the Nicholas Brothers, Sammy Davis Jr., Fred Astaire, Marilyn Monroe, Ava Davis. These are the people that I looked up to. And when I saw them, I was like, wow. You know, you have people like Shirley Temple. And when I looked at those people, I saw a certain amount of finesse and panache. And I was like, that's what I want to do. To be quite honest, my mum always thought that I would actually be a dancer or a choreographer at that, because I always danced, and she noticed that I had rhythm from such a young age. But I was more drawn to actually using my voice to express myself with singing. So that's where it all started, really.
Okay, so so most of it, would we say that your first beginning of your passion was vocals, or did you have any forms of instruments that you worked with?
It wasn't vocals first. There was a taster of it, but the artist in me that first actually came out was dance. And it just so happened I was dancing in my living room, and my mum caught me dancing. And I think from my memory, I was actually doing my own dance routine, but I didn't realize that my mum was watching me. And I was, you know, from what I remember, I was just really working the heck out of what I was doing. And she said to me, she stopped. I think she was cleaning. She stopped. She said, what are you doing, Aisha? I said, and I kind of jumped like, oh, somebody caught me. My mum caught me. And she goes, no, do that again. Do what you was doing, do it again. And so I did it again. And she was like, and then she came towards me and she started dancing with me. And she was like, you really are talented at dancing. You really have a lot of rhythm. And she was just, and I remember that night, she spoke to my dad about it. And then I remember them vaguely having this conversation about me, singing songs and memorizing them. And then at a young age, what my godfather told me was that my dad had actually recorded a song, came back home. I didn't know what my dad had created. I didn't know what harmonies he had in there. But at the age of 2, I've got this kind of memory that allows me to quickly pick things up and then actually anticipate what the next note would be or what the correct note would be. And my uncle said to me, that's what I did. He said, I didn't know the words, but I actually knew the song by the time it was finished. Nobody prompted me, no help. And also I knew what the harmonies were when they were coming. And yeah, instruments, I've been surrounded by the drums and percussion. So often my dad would encourage me to play because he knew that I had a good memory where rhythms and learning things really quickly were concerned. And so when he was playing, he'd always, like his bongo drums, I have them like now, I inherited them. And he would always try and teach me. So I have a natural, which is something that I don't display often, but I have a natural flair for playing percussion. And that's due to my father. Piano, I knew that I was always going to be good at it, but I never ever went down that avenue until I got older. And I knew my father was really disappointed because he always tried to encourage me to play and read music, and I didn't do that until I was an adult. So yeah. Okay,
so in your understanding of your music, because I've always gravitated to like great admirer on big artists and things like that. What kind of artist inspired you when you first began to understand the music itself?
Music, an artist who inspired me. Because I grew up in a heavily, back in the day, my parents were Rastafarian, right?
Yeah,
say that again?
That's what I was trying to allude to in the forms of the category of what type of music you like.
Yeah, so in terms of the music that I like, I was heavily, at first in my early years, very much drawn to reggae. So like people like the Twinkle Brothers, Black Uhuru, Aswad, like Marcia Griffiths, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Bob Marley himself, Judy Mowatt, Yellowman, like all Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac. That's what I was mainly brought up on. And that, in terms of the sound and the frequency, I was just like, yeah, this is me. This is my roots. This is home. This is home to me. And gradually moving on from that and actually acquiring my own musical taste, and also from my mum and dad, because they were always singing and playing music anyway, it was soul, funk. So you've got Rick James, the Mary Jane Girls, the Emotions. I love my rare groove. I don't get to hear it that much now unless I'm playing my own playlist. And obviously with lockdown and COVID, nobody going anywhere. But that kind of music. Anita Baker. Do you know what, Terry? To be quite honest, the list, I could go on and on. The list is never ending.
So
the list is never ending.
So in saying that, because as you've been invested in the music that you've been in, is that what's inspired you to say, you know what, I want to go out there and be a vocal singer, I want to be out there and be a music artist? Or is it that it was a combination of things that came together?
It's definitely a combination, because although before entering the music industry, I naturally have a strong musical influence, musical background where my parents and family members are concerned. There was a time in my life where I had experienced a good few things where the music industry was concerned, and I wasn't looking to do anything about it. So in my primary school years, I was in the primary school choir. I also entered the school choir at secondary school. And and did performances with our choir as well. Big up St. David's and St. Catherine's as well, and Miss Jakes for hooking that up as well.
Yeah.
By the time also as well, I was part of a trio and duo with one of the girls that I actually ended up signing my recording deal with, Chantel, as well. Between the age of what? I experienced all of that between the age of 9 and 14. And I entered into regional competitions with Chantel in particular, winning some, losing some. We did the 491 Club? The club, the competition where you perform at Hackney Empire. I did that, Chatsworth Palace, Brixton Academy, and I had experienced all that, but I had walked away from it. I felt like, after a while, I just didn't really feel like I had a passion for it. I lost my passion for it.
Okay.
And the only reason why I came back to singing and came back to the industry is the very same person that encouraged me, which is Chantel, amongst my peers, because my peers didn't know that I had a singing voice. She was the one that encouraged me to showcase it. I was actually one day looking for a job. I was going to the job centre, handing in CVs and whatever have you.
Hold on. Aisha, let me ask you a question here, because you see, this is what I wanted to kind of understand, because a lot of people, they go into the music game and they have a mental psyche of money, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to know, at that time, because you're going for a job, did you see music as being something that could benefit you into creating something around yourself, or did you see it as a passion and I'm still going to go for this job?
It was a bit of both. Only, and the reason why I say that is only because although I met up with Chantal that day, she said to me, she was just like, oh, hi, I went back to go and visit my school. I had left sixth form and whatever by then. I was looking for a job, whatnot. And she was like, so what are you doing about your singing? Because we hadn't seen each other for maybe about 2 years. I was like, I'm looking for a job. I just come from the job centre. And she was like, what? She was like, you're looking for a job? She was like, Aisha, hold on a minute. So you're not singing at all? I'm like, no. I just didn't feel inspired or had any passion for performing or singing anymore. I was just like, what's the use? Like, what am I getting from it? So, but she had a conversation with, she was just like, Aisha, I have a manager. I'm going to go and audition. Why are you wasting your talent? You have a beautiful voice. You're beautiful. Why not still use your talent while you can? And then I'm thinking, okay, all right, let's give it a shot again. And maybe I could earn some money from it. So that's why I say a bit of both. It was a bit of both.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see where you're at in that, because what I'm trying to explain to the people out there is that a lot of people don't see their creativity as a potential. And
that's true.
In life, you got to kind of understand that when you have a creativity, it's what you're passionate about and what you enjoy. So then once you use your creativity, you have a passion for it. So it makes you work on a full better ethic.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to see if you identified that at such a young age as you was going up the ladder.
Only through encouragement. You see, now, if had Chantal not had the discussion with me, maybe, just maybe, that fire, that passion, that flame, maybe it wouldn't have been reignited in the way that it did. Because she, when she spoke to me, she did it in such a way that allowed me to view my own talent differently. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like, actually, she's got because I never thought of it. I just left doing competitions, I left singing, and that was literally it. But she brought it to me. She was just like, but Aisha, like, why would you throw something like that away? You're like, you're really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, yeah, actually, it's true. It's true. Why? Like, why am I not using my talent? It doesn't make any sense. I couldn't, there was nothing else that I could put in place to say, actually, I'm not going to try and do it again. There was nothing else. And I was just like, yeah, I can sing. Yeah, I can do choreography really well. Yes, I can dance. And why not use my talent to do something that I actually do love performing. So why not do it?
Okay. So you kind of knew you had a craft, right?
Yes.
Or you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
That stage, what drove you to say, you know what, I'm going to take this serious and I'm going to push this forward?
What drove? Well, at this point, because we're speaking about what was the forward movement, that would be because we, Chantal and I, before we became a trio, a girl group with Sabrina, Chantal and I, the day after I met back up with her, we went to an audition. She said to me, Aisha, I've got this manager, come along to this audition, see how you feel. If you feel after the audition that you're not really bothered, then okay, fair enough, but at least you've gone to the audition. So went to the audition, met Chantal's manager at the time, and our friend came to support us, Sabrina. Now, Sabrina, she was already a performer anyway, because she studied theatre drama, and she can sing. And she, although she didn't go to our school, she was part of our gospel choir anyway. So we all knew each other's voices quite well. And I auditioned, Chantal auditioned, and the manager just looked at Sabrina and was like, okay, what you doing? Are you here to sing or are you here to just support? She was like, no, I'm here to support. And then she was like, yeah, but she was like, do you mind singing? Do you want to audition? And Sabrina was like, okay, yeah. So then the manager on that day was like, really and truly, because you guys are so talented individually as well as a collective, you girls look like a girl group. So that's when it turned to, okay, actually, all three of us actually have something here. We blend well, we gel well together. We're friends anyway. So why not look at this as something serious? And it was only that day that it was like, okay, we need to have more meetings because this is what we're going to do. This is our way forward. We're going to be a girl group.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're in that journey of being in a girls group and being in the music game itself. What do you say that you learn or able to see within that music game of going on tours, doing shoots, going on stuff, because it's a lot of work, and if you have no experience, it can be overwhelming. So I just want you to give us a breakdown in the factors of when you was in that group and how you maneuvered.
Yeah. So the first thing that we had to do was, aside from Chantal and I doing the audition where Sabrina came in last minute, Chantal and I also did another audition, and I can't remember I can't remember where, but we auditioned and sung with a vocal coach to see how well we blend together before we even had moved forward with any further meetings. So Sabrina didn't attend that audition after. It was just Chantal and I. I chose my song, which was Blackstreet, Don't Leave, which when I said to the vocal coach that I'm singing back, she kind of looked at me. She's just like, but it's for a man. I was just like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to sing it. She was like, okay. She was like, okay, all right then. So she saw that confidence in me, which she reported after the audition was good, because that's what you need to be a performer. You need to be confident. And Chantal sang Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart. Or no, How Could an Angel Break My Heart? After we finished the audition, our manager came in and she was just like, no, we came out and our manager was just like, you lot sound great. The vocal coach doesn't have no issues with you lot. You lot don't need no, I mean, you can have vocal coaching after, but the bar has already been set quite high. And although, you know, I speak to me, I know that because Chantal and I are talented individually, but the mere fact, I think for me, the fact that we actually was part of a gospel choir, there's a certain amount of training and discipline in that. To be in a gospel choir, you have to know how to listen to yourself. You have to know how to sing on time. You have to know how to follow the rhythm of the conductor, regardless of whether that's the MD or somebody who is standing in front of you and leading you. You have to know how to be led. You have to know how to listen to yourself as well as listen to, I was singing with up to 50 other people at the same time. So I feel like, although I had a certain amount of training in my primary years, being in secondary school and going through that and doing regional competitions with Chantal, doing Chatsworth Palace, doing Stoke Newington Town Hall, performing their Hackney Empire, Brixton Academy, that all helped in terms of my training and my discipline in order for us to move forward. And before we even signed our recording deal, I couldn't sign it anyway because I was the youngest of the group. So they had to wait for me to turn 18 before I signed it. We had to have boot camp. So, you know, what people actually call boot camp now, our boot camp was we had to rehearse twice every 7 days. And then at times, even though we would come together as a collective and rehearse dance routines, we had dance routines that we had to create. We had to look at our image. We had to look at how we sang together. And even though we had sang together in the past, we still needed to continue that training together as a girl group now. We sat down and did writing sessions together. We had to sit down with our manager and look at our look as a girl group. We had to speak about our direction and what hopes that we had for us as a group. And this took, because I was 17, so this was like a year a bit, and I think maybe 6 months. We had to do that. We had to go into the recording studio. We had to learn about interview skills, how to present yourself in an interview, regardless of whether it's from magazine, newspaper. I mean, we were interviewed by the Daily Star. We did photo shoots with Touch. Touch magazine? Smash Hits magazine. We did so much, but we had to have the training. We had to have the training before we even entered into the industry. So for us, it wasn't just about, yes, we wanted to gain financial stability from it, because we often spoke about, okay, once we get financial stability, we can help our parents, we can help our younger, like we all had younger siblings around about the same age. So it wasn't just about us. It was, we're doing this for we. We're literally doing this for we. This is not for us. So we really had to take everything seriously. So.
Okay. So let me ask, in understanding, right, throughout all these stuff, could you give us a kind of a brief insider of the do's and don'ts within you being in a group? Because you see, sometimes we have to understand what's inside the box before we can able to close the box as in move to the next level as a business. So
absolutely,
knowing that content of the do's and the don'ts, kind of give us in your experiences, how did you see it?
The do's
with us.
Say that again.
I said, I want you to be truthful, no lies.
No, I ain't gonna come. I'm not gonna come with no lies, Terry. Come on now, you know me. You already know me. The do's. The do's.
Yeah.
Please do. If you're in a collective, if you're in a group, do communicate amongst yourselves as a group. When I mean communicate amongst yourselves as a group, that means that you all come together. not the manager, not the record company, not the lawyers, not the accountant, you lot. And make sure that you have the tightest foundation that you could ever have before signing any agreement. Do make sure that if you get paperwork, yes, you might have your lawyer, yes, you might have your solicitor, but you read that agreement, you read it. Do not take no chances. If you do not understand something about your agreement, there is a thesaurus, there is a dictionary, there are law dictionaries, you go through that. And then if you're still not sure about that, you then sit down with your lawyer, your solicitor, and you go through and you fine comb through the things that you do not understand, through the words that you do not understand, before you sign anything. Before you sign anything, yeah.
But you know, let me ask you that before you sign anything. Within the music industry, I want to bring a little bit of controversial into it, in the fact that within the music industry, people are so chock-a-blocked that they have to do fashion shows, they might have to do shoots, they might have to go to the recording studio, they might have to go to
charity balls,
to tour, and it gets to a stage where you don't have time for yourself.
Yeah.
Where would you get that kind of breather of the fact that, you know what, I just want to take a day off or a time out just to quickly breathe? Because the controversial part is that the fact that when you go to like launch parties and these ones and all that, and the things that you see within these parties can be a sidetrack or make you get lost within the industry itself.
Yeah. I mean, regarding that, I can only speak for myself, right?
Yeah.
In terms of my experience. And my experience was that in terms of being in the group and getting time off, there really wasn't no time off. And the thing is as well, it's not as if to say this was not explained to me or shown to me. However, when you want, one thing about the industry that disappoints me a lot, is that they take a lot of young people who don't know themselves. They don't know themselves. And so therefore what happens is that they start to believe that all that glitters is gold. And then they start to believe that the run of doing the launches, doing the tours and doing the this and doing the that, that's what's going to make them either famous, a celebrity, and or even sometimes unrealistically happy. Now, I'm not saying that it cannot lead to happiness with direction, with agreement in terms of having balance. That can be done, and the industry is changing in so many ways because people are speaking. They're speaking up about doing things differently, and people, artists now they're arming themselves with information as opposed to how it used to be when I was younger. So for me, there was really no, and because I didn't know about the business as well. The industry is a business. Yes, you may have talent. Yes, you may be able to dance. Yes, you may be able to write. Yes, you may be able to sing. However, the music industry is an industry for the reason it is a business. Do not get it misconstrued. You have to know that. And that's one thing that I didn't understand. I didn't know. What can be done to bring in the balance in terms of taking care of you, having that breather, is before you enter in any form of agreements. When you have your meetings, you need to be able to be confident in speaking up for yourself and be like, yo, for example, for me now, anybody that's approaching me, I'm like, look, I've got children. So you know what? My self-care, my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, my physical health, dealing with me and dealing with my family, that comes first. So if I'm saying to you, my daughter's birthday is on such and such date and I've got to be there and I need 7 days off, try know, regardless of whether you like it or not, that's what's going to happen. You can say things and speak up for yourself. It doesn't have to be as brash as how I just thought it now. But if you speak up speak up for yourself and you have these things in place within your agreement, nobody can say anything to you. But if you never speak up for yourself and you never say anything, then you're going to allow people to walk all over you in the industry. It's just as simple as that.
So in your forms of tours, would you say you started to find a passion of business when you started to get to know the business within the group, or was it a passion for business outside after you finished within the group?
It was definitely having the passion for the business after I left the group. When I was in the group, bearing in mind that I was being in the music industry since the age of 14, really, I didn't really know myself. I thought I knew myself, and a lot of young people do, and you know what, that's the journey, and it's okay. But after leaving the industry and getting in touch with certain, royalty collection bodies and, publishing companies and stuff like that about the stuff that I did with Fierce, I actually realized that I knew very little. But in having said that, because I wasn't satisfied with not knowing, I'm a very curious person. If I don't know something, I like to research and I like to know. And that also drove the passion within me to know about the business, because after I left it, I realized I didn't know anything really. I was just the person who just fronted the look and the music, but ask me anything about the business, or how to recoup royalties for radio play, and how to recoup royalties for getting paid for the release of an advert or being on the show that I did. I had no clue. So I was driven by trying to find out information after, and realizing certain things that people were telling me about the business. I was like, right, this is not going to do. How am I ever going to get anywhere if I don't actually know what the business is about? So I started my journey literally when I had my second child, and that was literally like 2003.
Okay, so and now we're getting to that stage of now where you've come out of this music group. Now you're in that stage of creating. Now, most people, when they're creating something, they draw from their experiences. So, what kind of experiences and what did you draw to now get into the stage of that? You know what? I want to turn this thing that I've learned and this trade I've got into a form of business.
Well, that was another long journey. Another long journey as well. Kind of, it's weird because I realize now in retrospect that I had a lot of fluctuations in terms of, okay, I've left the industry now. I'm just focusing on being a mom and raising my family. But at the same time, like I said, I was actually doing a lot of reading, a lot of research about how the industry works, about royalties and stuff like that. And then what happened is when I was, in my early 20s, my dad, he kept on going on at me about, one, about not being in the group, about me leaving the group. He was really, really upset with me. And then two, about the fact that I still hadn't taken up piano lessons yet, and he knew that I could do it quite easily. And three, he encouraged me to go to college and go and do an engineering qualification. And he said to me, Aisha, like, I know, like, you're really smart, you pick up things really quickly. Why not go and get an engineering qualification? But he meant engineering qualification in technology. So I was like, I had a good think about it. And then something came up, an opportunity came up where I was able to actually go and get a sound engineering qualification. And that's what I did. So I got a sound engineering qualification in basic sound engineering. And then I went back and I got an advanced sound engineering qualification. So things like setting up concerts and sound and setting up like a drum kit, keyboards, guitar, microphone, piano, setting all of that up. I can do all of that. No issue. And obviously working with digital interface as well in terms of recording. So I did that for myself, and I was like, right, okay, now I've got these qualifications. What am I going to do? So one of my vocal coaches, who's actually a good family friend of mine, Maxine, official Maxine, if you're watching, she was a vocal coach, and I reached out to her, and I was just like, Maxine, look, I've got these qualifications. I'm actually looking to do vocal coaching. She was like, wow, okay. She was like, go out there, do what you've got to do. Just start from small, even if you've got one client, Aisha. And the funny thing about the whole vocal coaching thing is that I used to do vocal coaching from the age of 14 at my school on lunch break. So I had people coming to me and be like, you sing so well, I really want to train with you. So I've done it for many, many years. It's just that I didn't do it officially. I tutored, I kind of like shadowed Maxine when she was teaching at Bruce Grove Youth Centre. And basically I went on from there to do vocal coaching as a sole trader. I didn't have my company yet, and I continued to do that for a good couple of years. Still tapping into how the music industry was changing, new things were happening all the time, and kind of just tapping into that to see, where I fit in that, because also, I was still dabbling a bit with, writing and recording at home. So yeah, that's where that kind of started.
Okay, so now we get to that stage of now that you've learned the trade. Now your hurdle on the fact of your creation in that creating that business and how you came to that business name, and then we can go into the inside of the business itself. But before we go there, so we will talk about how did you arrive at the name, as the name of your business is?
It's Vewa Productions, VEWA.
What brought you to that name, by the way?
Vewa Productions stands for Vocal Excellence with Aisha. So it's an acronym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you went to that stage, did you find hurdles into creating, to manifesting? I always say manifesting something that comes from an actual thought to a reality of what a business is.
Yeah. Well, in reflection, I believe that maybe my own hurdle was something that I manifested myself. I don't believe that for any reason that there were hurdles placed there by anybody else aside from myself, because, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, when I was vocal coaching as a sole trader, and these are people, friends who I have around me that have their own businesses, advised me many times and for a long time, and it fell on deaf ears because Aisha was being stubborn. But I love those people who gave me the information. They were like, you need to stop doing that as a sole trader. And I'd be like, why? I'd be like, what? Well, Aisha, if anything happens, you haven't got a company around you, you haven't got a corporation around you to protect you. And I was like, okay. And then I was just like, if I'm going into this whole doing a production and having my own company, I've got to be really on it. Like, there's going to be certain responsibilities that I've got to take in as a sole trader. It kind of works differently. And I was just like, okay, like, put it to the back burner. But what happened was that the same vocal coach who allowed me to work with her so that I could train more in regards to my vocal coaching, she was like, right, yeah, you've been doing this now. Yeah, you need to go and get a qualification for teaching. I was like, what? She's like, Aisha, you've been doing this for look how long? Like, come on now. Like, you've been doing this. She said, I know that you can go in there. You're going to ace the exam. It's not going to be an issue. So I went back to college, got a qualification for being a tutor, for being a teacher. At the same time, I didn't go there to go and get this qualification, but I ended up getting another qualification for English literature and language, English, teaching English at A levels at the same time. So I was like, okay, I've got sound engineering qualification too. I've got my teaching qualification. That's that. People are telling me to create this corporation.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to do that because now I'm actually, as well as having the experience, no one can deny that. That's evident. No one can deny that I've got the qualifications.
Yeah.
Let me get this corporation behind me. And it wasn't until I completed the qualification, then I think that maybe about a couple of more years after I incorporated my company. And that was, to be quite honest, that was about 3 years after, or 4 years after actually. And I still needed the support. A good friend of mine, King Asamari, he actually supported me in actually learning about how to set up a corporation. Because obviously I did a lot of research about corporations and sick numbers and stuff like that. But never really knew how to put it into play. But I obviously now I realize in reflection that the Most High, give thanks, was actually preparing me bit by bit, so that when I was ready to have this corporation, I had all the knowledge that I needed. Obviously, not everything, because I'm a person that's always open to learning, and you can never ever stop learning where the business is concerned, because things do change. Nothing stays the same forever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we get to this part where we're at the business and we understand the business name, but I want you to do whatever you said before, that you wanted to give us a kind of an insight and the meaty part of what your business does and how it creates different types of things. So I give you the floor to demonstrate or to tell us what it's all about within your business.
Awesome. So my business, what I do, I am a vocal coach. First and foremost, I help artists on all levels basically connect with themselves, and that's the most important thing, because I do, and I have come across people come to me and just like, I want to be a celebrity, I want to be famous, and I'm like, okay, well, there is this training that one has to do with oneself in terms of where the voice is concerned. So learning about your talent ultimately allows you to know who you are and the power that you have within yourself. And so I help people to connect through vocal coaching, and I help them connect with themselves through vocal coaching. Within the business, there's also the services for hiring audio equipment, obviously for, rehearsals or whatever it is that you may need. And also creative direction. So I've worked with one of my clients by the name of Irene, and she's entered into regional competitions like Essex Factor and such. And I done the creative direction for her videos that are out on YouTube as well. And then during my journey as a vocal coach, I held a few breathing sessions and workshops with a lovely organization that goes by the name of Creative Lifestyle, run by Mrs. Oleander Agbetu, who's a good friend of mine, and Veronica as well, Sister Veronica. And I held sessions for, helping with wellness and relaxation. And that was just mainly focusing on breathing, correct breathing. And what I realized that from actually being a singer and having vocal coaches, I've had 2 vocal coaches in my lifetime, and also vocal coaching other people, I actually really started to realize the beauty and the healing in knowing how to breathe properly. And I can tell you this for nothing. I've had people come to my sessions, and some people have cried in my sessions because they realized that in connecting with themselves through the power of their own breath, that allows them to perform at their best. But not only allows them to perform at their best, it allows for healing. It allows for release and relief ultimately. And so my journey in regards to becoming a guided meditation facilitator came from that. And now within Vewa Productions, we offer the service of doing the breathing workshops, but also guided meditation as well, which I would love to be able to share with you guys. Is that all right, Terry?
Yep, yeah, continue. I'm loving it all the time.
Awesome. So today I wrote a special program. Oh yeah, and just to say on a side note as well, I've always been a person that's been quite perceptive in terms of my intuition. And so from guided meditation, we also now do general card readings. I do a session called Sunday's Blessings, which you can look into on our YouTube page at Vewa Productions LTD on YouTube. We also have a Patreon account. So for membership, you can see exclusive content too, where I do readings with Adinka affirmation cards, Moonology cards, and we've got these beautiful Soulful Woman cards. And I do also do my own type of reading with just normal deck cards. I've been doing this kind of stuff in terms of intuitive readings, in terms of energy. I see colors for many years since a very, very young age. And I've noticed that I was blessed with that and given the ability to do that. And it's only at this time I'm sharing it with you all, with the world. And so I want to do a short little guided meditation session. And then after that, I'm going to pull a general card reading, just to say just to see what the Most High Divine is showing everyone today. So first of all, if you are sitting down comfortably, please make sure that you have your feet firmly on the ground. Back is comfortably supported by the back of your chair. Posture is straight and supported. You may go and get a cushion at this time to support your back. The reason why I ask for everybody to sit correctly is so that when you are in the meditation, there may be certain energies that come down towards you in terms of what you may need to receive from the Most High Divine, the universe, the Creator, Allah, God, Jehovah, whatever you want to call the higher power. And it's important for you to be able to have correct posture, just to make sure that your airflow is supported as well, because we're going to be using breathing technique, using our diaphragm. And when I mean breathing technique, using our diaphragm, I'm going to ask everybody to take a deep breath in, a number of breaths in. And when you breathe in, your diaphragm should come out. And when you breathe out, your diaphragm should contract and go flat. Just to let you know, on the 31st of January, I shall be doing a guided meditation event. We shall be accepting donations for this event. We have an Eventbrite page, Vewa Productions. You'll see it, you'll find it, and various posts for it on IG at Vewa Productions LTD, and also YouTube, so check that out. We shall begin the session. I want you to focus on your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Really relax. Breathing in, breathing out. Really release any stress. Breathing in, breathing out. Any pain. Breathing in, breathing out. Any worry. Breathing in, breathing out. Just let it melt away. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Really relax your eyes. Breathing in and out. When you're breathing in, try not to move your shoulders. Breathing in and out. Try not to use your chest area. Just make sure that you're taking all that air in, making sure that your lungs are filled with maximum air. Breathing in and out. Breathing in breathing out, breathing in and out. Really relax, really relaxing. Really relax, relax your mind, focus on your breathing. Taking deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and out. And relax. Eyes closed. Go with the flow, the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in and out. Breathe. When you're breathing in, focus on the areas in your mind, in your body that need cleansing, where you need oxygen to circulate. We should start the grounding process. I want you to imagine that your feet are resting firmly on the ground, on Mother Earth. The earth feels warm, comfortable, inviting, nourishing, green grass that's lush, thick, bouncy, underneath your feet. Wiggle your toes and feel the earth beneath your feet. And breathe. I want you to imagine that through your feet, the bottom of your feet, you start to feel healthy, strong, thick roots emerging from the bottom of your feet and burying themselves in Mother Earth. The roots are strong, thick, healthy, and they're digging deep, 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 deep into Mother Earth. Deep, 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 and deep, digging deep. And you feel the nourishment of the earth and her warmth, her natural frequencies are pulsating through your roots. And you start to see a beautiful green, nourishing light moving up through your roots, bringing your body minerals and nutrients from Mother Earth all the way up, 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 up. This green light is flowing through to your toes, your toenails, the bridge of your foot, your heel, your ankle, your calf, your shin, all the way up, 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 up. This light is moving through the back of your knee, to the front of your kneecap, inner thigh, outer thigh, up, up, up to your genitals, circulating the root chakra, all the way up to the sacral chakra, your pelvis, your womb, up, up, up to your hips, your waist, reaching up to your stomach, your navel, your solar plexus, all the way up, easing any dis-ease, any pain, moving all the way up, cleansing, flowing through your body, your veins, your bones, your marrow, your organs, your veins, your spleen, all the way up, 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 your pancreas, your kidneys, rib cage, bones, your heart, your lungs, your chest area, all the way up to your armpits, your lymph glands, all the way up to your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, triceps and biceps, elbows, all the way down to your wrists, your hands, tops of the hands, your palms, your thumbs, your index finger, and all other fingers, and your fingernails. Breathe in, breathe out, flushing away any dis-ease. And this light is moving up, up, up your shoulders, shoulder blades, thyroid, throat, esophagus, up, up, up to your chin, your lips, your cheekbones, your ears, your lobes, inner ear, outer ear, up, up, up your nose, your eyes, eyebrows, working its way up, 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 third eye, up, 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 crown chakra. Feel the tingling all over your body through the cleansing light, the healing light working through your body. I want you to bring your focus to your root chakra, shining a beautiful red flower. You see a beautiful red flower. That's right where the anus is, in between the anus and genitals. And I want you to imagine that this flower is sprinkled with water and this red flower starts to open. And it's opening and opening and opening. And you see a beautiful jewel in the middle. I want you to pick it up, clean it, and place it gently back. Bringing your focus to your sacral chakra, sensuality, creativity, a beautiful orange flower, right where your pelvis area is, your womb. I want you to imagine that water, fresh crystal water, is being flushed on that orange flower and it starts to open and open and open. And you see a beautiful jewel inside. You pick it up gently with a nice, beautiful, clean silk cloth, purple or white. Clean it and gently put it back. Working your attention weight back up to your chakra, solar plexus, shining a beautiful yellow flower. I want you to imagine that water is being sprinkled on it, crystal water, and it starts to open nice and wide. Your action, your movement, motion. And you see a beautiful jewel in the middle. I want you to pick it up, clean it, and then place it back. Working your way up to the heart chakra, green anahata, and you see water being splashed on a green flower, and it starts to open, and you pick up the jewel nice and gently, clean that up till it's shining beautifully, then place it back nice and gently. Working your way up to the throat chakra, blue flower, I want you to imagine that water's opening the blue flower up. That's it, up, 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 open, open, open. And pick the jewel up that you see inside, clean it, place it back. Working your way up to the third eye, shining a beautiful violet flower. I want you to imagine that crystal water is being splashed on the flower, opens up, pick up the jewel nice and gently. This is where you see communication, your psychic abilities and strengths, messages, visuals, from past, present, and future. Be very gentle with your jaw, clean it, and then place it back. And last but not least, crown chakra. I want you to imagine a white, beautiful flower and water being sprinkled on it. And it starts to open and blossom. And you see a beautiful jewel in the middle. And you clean it and then place it back. Just focus on your breathing. Focus on your crown chakra shining straight up and out into the world. Beautiful white light connecting with the universe, the cosmos. Bring your focus to your third eye, shining a beautiful violet. Allow it to shine and shine out. Focusing on your throat chakra, you want to hear you. You need to be heard. You need to listen to others too. And shining a beautiful blue. Focus your attention on your heart chakra, shining a beautiful green, shining your love out into the world. And focusing on your solar plexus, on yellow light, and sacral chakra, orange, creativity, movement, sensuality, and root chakra, shining a beautiful, beautiful red. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. 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 While you're focusing on your breathing, pay attention to any words, any letters, any visuals that you may be receiving from the Most High Divine at this moment in time. It may not make sense now, but if you write about it after, the message may be revealed to you in time, or you may be able to decode it in time. Pay attention. Bring your attention to your crown chakra, third eye, throat chakra, heart chakra, sacral chakra, root chakra. Bring your attention back to your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, crown chakra. We're going to be protecting each chakra, bringing them back down in. I want you to focus on your crown chakra and that beautiful light shining from the top of your head. Bring that light in. Start to imagine the flower closing up, and we don't want it to close up completely because you still need to be connected to the universe, the creator, the divine. I want you to protect it with either a curtain all the way around it and or a lock and a key. Bringing your attention to your third eye, I want you to bring that violet light in. Bring it in. Just to about here. We don't want it to go away completely. And I want you to protect your third eye with a closing curtain and or a lock and a key. Bringing your attention to your throat chakra, I want you to bring that light in, put it in, draw it in. You still want to hear your voice, you still need to be heard. We want to protect as well. And protecting with a curtain, closing curtain, and or a lock and a key. Bring your focus down to your heart chakra. Bringing that light in. You don't want to take the love away. You still need love. You still need to give love as well, especially to yourself. Protect your heart chakra with a closing curtain and or a lock and a key. Bringing your focus down to your solar plexus. Bring that shining light in, that activity. We still want you to be active. Still want you to be connected to your emotions, clarity, and protecting your sacral chakra with a curtain and or a locket key. Moving your attention down to your sacral chakra, where your pelvis is, your womb, ovaries, and bringing that light in, that beautiful orange light, and protecting your chakra with a curtain and or a locket key. Your root chakra shall remain open so that you remain grounded. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and slowly come back and open your eyes when you're ready. While everybody's taking their time to come back, just wanted to remind everyone that I shall be doing a guided meditation session for 1 hour on the 31st of January. This will be an online event. There is a link for the event or workshop on Eventbrite. You can purchase. We are accepting donations for this event, and I would love to see you all there. I literally started shuffling the Adinka affirmation cards, and a card just jumped out. Okay, crocodile, adaptability. So this is the card that came out today for everyone. It reads, I am able to adapt my mind, body, and emotions to aid the evolution of my highest potential. So I hope that's helpful for everyone today. Whoever needs to hear that, or whoever that resonates with today, could be a reminder about who you are, what it is that you need to do. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So going through the website, just quickly showing people, if you go to was it guided meditations with the real Aisha Peters, we're going through it here. So this is the kind of thing that you would see on this page, and it would introduce you. So as I said, if you go to a production company and or search for guided meditations with the real Aisha Peters, and she give you the full load of what she's going to do and what she's about. So do please invest in something like this while everyone's at home at this precise moment. It's an opportunity for you to get yourself relaxed, and even in the forms of asking more questions or vocal classes or whatsoever, how you want to maneuver forward, because her company does a lot of this stuff. So this is the link to the Eventbrite. So please check it up. As I said, it's Eventbrite Guiding Meditations with the real Aisha Peters. So you will find that and just register and purchase your tickets.
Awesome.
So before we head out, just give us on the other aspects of a little bit of the vocals, of what you do with your vocals and things like that. Little just understanding of certain criteria that they can receive, or services that you provide within the company.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So with vocal coaching, what I do is I basically help people if they want to refine and hone their craft. I basically help all levels of people do that. Also with vocal coaching, I work with duos, I work with groups. I've been a vocal coach for a choir that did a charity ball for the YMCA. So I work with all types of people. Do not be discouraged if you feel like you're wanting to do vocal coaching for the first time. I've worked with people who have never ever done vocal coaching before, just as a fun activity and just to be able to release. So it's really about working on your breathing, allowing you to know how to connect with yourself through breath, finding out what your comfortable key is, because some people just sing and they don't have a clue what key is actually comfortable for them. I go through vocal coaching exercises that will help stretch clients' voices and stretch their range, and whether that's a lower range, whether that's a high range. I look at just really fine tuning, people who are actually signed and who are actually established. I work on refining their vocals and what they have. And sometimes, because of my experience, people do ask me a lot of, other questions in regards to performance and, getting a production together, which I also support people with as well. I also support people with actually recording in the recording studio. There's so many things that I can do. All you have to do is just email me, come and try a session, find out if it's for you, and we can take it from there. And please, be aware that I've worked in performance art academies before. I've worked with people who need, who have learning difficulties as well. And I've worked with children as young as the age of 3, and I've worked with people in their senior years as well. So I'm very diverse in my teaching.
Okay. So if people needed to reach out to you, or they needed to find how to contact you, what are the places where they can reach you? Whether is it, like your Instagram, your Facebook, all your social medias and email, as I've put your email up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So for anyone that wants to email her, you can go to this email and she will get the information and you can start to connect from there. But any other ways of reaching you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got Vewa Productions at IG. So that's Vewa Productions Ltd, all lowercase. And then you've got obviously the email vewa25@gmail.com. I also have my own platform as a artist, which is at The Real Aisha Peters as well. That's on IG. You have the Aisha Peters on Twitter. You've also got Aisha Peters, the artist Facebook page as well. You also do have the Vewa Productions page on LinkedIn and also for Facebook too as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And every platform has the email, my email address for me as a solo artist, The Real Aisha Peters, and also for Vewa Productions. So you'll always see contact information on all pages too.
Thank you, Aisha, for giving us all that info and the relaxation.
You're welcome. Sorry about the technical difficulties. With my phone tipping over.
It's all good. And this is talk with the creatives. And as I always say, it's about getting our creatives and giving them a platform. So if you're a creative, please email me at blackicetv7@gmail.com. And we can fix you in a day and you can promote your services, products, or anything that you feel that you can push forward in the facts of your creativity, because everybody needs something to learn from, to able to push their narrative and seeing the experiences of others who have actually put in the work and showed their creativity as well. So before I leave out, Aisha, is there any last words you would love to say to the public before you leave out?
What I would love to say to the public is really take care of you. Put your mental health, emotional, spiritual health, physical health first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else.
Mm-hmm. So as I always say, you have to spend black, live black, jump black, sing black, be black, and much more. So before we head out, I'm going to say, adios, goodbye, love you. This is Mr. Riggs, Terry Riggs, UK tour guide to the rest of the world. And I'm out.
Hi, I'm Aisha from Vewa Productions, and I'm on Black Ice TV 7.
Keep your head up, keep your head up. All the shit we been through, I know you fed up. This constant type of pressure, you ain't led up. This country should be happy we ain't teared up.
Nobody love us, let us not pretend. No. Let us gain our independence and let us not depend. They'll never stop us now, they couldn't stop us then. This country lucky that we only want equality and not revenge. We need to invest in each other, how much you got to spend? If I needed your help, my brother, how much you got to lend? You got a black business, I support you. I'ma buy black, the block I want us to buy back. I'm trying to buy that, trying not to get shot at in Babylon with a cop at. I need to see an all black Amazon I can shop at. Stop that, cause a black man is king, black man is God. Any black celebrity quiet, that man a fraud. Cause they wanna leave us with no blessings. I seen blacks get beat peacefully protesting, leaving the street bleeding with no weapons, or get COVID treated with no testing. I'm squeezing with no questions.
Keep your head up.